Why, hello everybody. Today we're going to work on your 2.3 rock, paper, scissors game. This is part of the Boolean unit 2.3, as I said. So with rock, paper, scissors, shoot, we're going to see if you can beat your friend in this classic game. So the input that you're going to use is rock, paper, or scissors from each player. So it's going to be a two-player game. So you will have to use a table buddy or somebody near you to play to test your code. Or you can pretend to be two people. That would be fun. The output is going to be the winner. So it's going to tell us who wins based off points. And here's your requirements. So you need to print blank space between input to prevent cheating. So each of you don't know what the other person selected. And you're going to use Boolean logic to calculate the winner. And we're going to use conditionals to check and output the winner. The syntax reference that we're going to use is and, or, and not. And we've been learning these. So these should not be anything new to you. And this says for the challenge, you could print what the winning and losing moves were. Or for the challenge, you could handle any invalid inputs. You could accept lowercase and capital input if you like. So a little bit extra code for those. Not a big deal. So if that is your preference, we can certainly do that. So without further ado, let's get over to the assignment. And this is it. And we're going to take a look at it from student view so it doesn't confuse anybody. So there's our description, everything that I showed you in the slide deck. And before we get started, I'm going to run solution. So it says enter rock, paper, or scissors. So I'm going to choose rock. And then down at the bottom, it shows enter rock, paper, scissors, meaning player 2. And so let's say player 2 enters paper. And it says player 2 wins in program. So that's how that works. So now, to get started, let's go ahead and maximize this screen to make your life a little easier. We're going to start out line 6, talks about player input. Comment tags at 8 and 9 say ask player 1 to input rock, paper, or scissors and assign to a variable called player 1. So right here at line 11, I'm going to start with player 1, no space, equal for assign. And we're going to ask for input. And the question is, enter rock, paper, or scissors. Colon. I'm going to give myself some space so when they answer, it's not right up against the line. And it says to test it. So I'm going to run. And there's my line of code. And so no matter what I enter, it shouldn't do anything else. And it didn't. It ended program. And that's what I wanted. Then this is kind of new, and I'm glad they put this in here for us. So look at line 13. It says bonus, and it says \n is a string that represents a new line character. Enter key on the keyboard. Knowing that, can you guess what this line does? So take a look at this. So if \n is a character key, that means new line. And so we take this and we times it by 100. And remember, \n is kind of like hitting the enter key on your keyboard. What do you think we're going to get from that? We will have to find out after I code this line. So in line 18, it says, oh, by the way, we didn't do anything here. That's already there. Okay, we're just looking at it, reading it, analyzing it. It's a pretty cool piece of code. So line 18 says, ask player 2 to input rock, paper, or scissors and assign to a variable called player 2. So we're going to go player 2 equal for assign input. Same question, so I can either type it again or copy paste it from above. Enter rock, paper, or scissors. Colon, space, quotation mark, parenthesis. And it tells me to test. So we're going to test, and this time I want you to pay attention. After I answer this, see what happens with this before I answer this. Okay, here we go. Enter rock, paper, scissors. Rock. Here we go. Watch what happens. Did you see it? Interesting. So now I'm going to enter rock again. So did you pick up that the question for player 2 is way down here? And it tells my answer and it ended the program, which so far so good. Now if it's bugging you and you don't know who player 1 is, player 2, you could certainly go like this. I could go, whoops, player 1. And then right here I could say player 2. Now when I run it, see player 1, enter, rock, and it says player 2, enter, rock. If you like that better, you can do that. All right, moving on. It says check for player 1 wins. Check for player 1 wins. And so our comment tags say check whether player 1 is equal to rock and player 2 is equal to scissors. Assign result to a variable rock beats scissors. Okay, so I start with my variable rock beats scissors equal, and then I'm going to go player 1 equal rock, whoops, and player 2 equal scissors. Okay, so in order for rock to beat scissors, both of these booleans have to be true. Player 1 has to have entered rock, and player 2 has to have entered scissors. Okay, so let's test it again. So player 1 rock, player 2 scissors, and program works, no bugs, life's good. Let's move on to the next one. Line 35 says check whether player 1 is equal to scissors and player 2 is equal to paper. Assign result to a variable scissors beats paper. So essentially, if you've caught on, we're setting up each scenario where player 1 could win. So scissors beats paper equals, and I'm going to go player 1 equal scissors. Don't forget it's a string, so it gets quotation marks. And player 2 whoops, not dash, equal paper. Alrighty. And then I'm going to test them in just a minute because it didn't tell me to test yet, so I'm going to wait. So in line 40, it says check whether player 1 is equal to paper and player 2 is equal to rock. Assign result to a variable rock beats paper. So start with our variable. Whoops. Paper beats rock. Geez. Paper underscore beats underscore rock equal. I'm going to player 1 equal quotation mark paper quotation mark and player 2 equal rock. Okay, let me double check, make sure I did that right. Player 1 equal to paper and player 2 equal to rock. And I have my quotation marks, so far so good. And then line 46, and we're going to test after this. So line 46 says check whether rock beats scissors or scissors beats paper or paper beats rock. Assign result to variable player 1 win. So that was a lot. So let's start off slow. So start with the variable player 1 win underscore win. So in this scenario, for player 1 to win, one of these variables that we set up before have to be true. So it's either rock beats scissors or scissors beats paper, or paper beats rock. Make sure you are spelling scissors correctly. You watched me. I almost screwed it up twice. Okay, so now I'm going to test it. Okay? All right. So first I'm going to say rock, and then player 2 is going to lose. I want him to lose so I can see my code. So far so good. No bugs. And let me test it again. This time I'm going to say scissors, and I'm going to say paper because I know that's another scenario where player 1 wins. Okay, so no bug there. Okay, so now let's talk about output winner. So if player 1 is equal to player 2, so if player 1 equal player 2 colon, I need a colon because I got an if, we're going to print a message saying the result is a tie. So print it's a tie. Okay, and I'm going to test. So I'm going to test it as if they both say the same thing. So rock and rock, and it says it's a tie. Very good. So that works. Elif player 1 wins. So elif player 1 underscore win colon. Remember the scenario we just set up. We're going to print a message that player 1 won the game. So make sure you tab over, print, parenthesis, quotation mark, player 1 wins. Okay, now think about this. We set up all the scenarios for player 1 to win. So what if none of those scenarios are true? Well, by default, it would be because player 2 wins, right? So therefore, we don't have to do all that stuff twice. We just say else. Else takes care of player 2. Isn't this cool? Else takes care of player 2. So in else, line 66, we now need to print a message saying that player 2 won. So at line 70, tab over, print. And we'll say player 2 wins. Okay, and we're going to test. So we're going to run the code and set up a scenario where player 2 wins. So I'm going to say, so paper beats rock. So we're going to say rock first, then I'm going to say paper. Player 2 wins. Yay, it works. Now let me test my other one where they're both the same and they tie. So I'm going to say rock, and it's a tie. And I think I tested that twice, but it's okay. All right, folks. And that is how you code your rock, paper, scissors game. What I would like to see you do is try to add in some challenges here. See if you can add in a scenario where they might type their scissors, rock, or paper as a capital. Or if you've ever watched The Big Bang Theory, there's Sheldon Cooper's version of rock, paper, scissors, which is rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. So all you need to do is add in your lizard and your Spock. And that's it. Hope you have a good day. Toodles!